I know it's politics, and we ain't going to get the game and fish mixed up in this deer farming and this baiting and this collar thing, but that's what the show was so hot about last week. And when I went down to the legislature, it don't look to me like deer farming is even thinking about even coming out of committee, much more being voted on.
Well, Paul, we got most of our callers and our listeners' voice was heard last week, but there was one message that was left. And his statement was, when you start putting up fences and charging owners to hunt, you're going to put the poor man out and make it so he cannot hunt on his own land.
No, wait, no.
Now, we kind of addressed that.
No,
The high fences, and Colonel, you can weigh in a little bit on this, not to put you in the middle of this, but you can weigh on what's legal and what's not. The high fences is not an issue. It's already legal in the state of Mississippi to have high fences.
Certainly,
correct?
Landowners that meet the requirements of our department can have a high fence, and they're monitored by our biologists. Most of them have a biologist on staff. If not, one of our biologists consults with them. They got to meet certain guidelines, very strict guidelines.
Sure. But if I
those have been
for all
for
that,
20 years or more, they've
right,
had the high fences.
So that's not an issue, and I keep trying to tell everybody in everything that everybody's debating about this deer farming and baiting, it has nothing to do with high fences. Now, here is my question, what I have not been clear on. If I qualify, and I have that high fence, and I'm legal, can I charge people to come hunt on my land?
I haven't seen the legislation,
Well,
so I don't know.
No, I'm asking you before this legislation. I'm talking about right now, say nothing. Can I'm legal.
No.
I got a high fence. Can I charge you?
I don't want to answer for him, but in the legislature, let me tell you what they told me. That you can charge for the adventure, but not for that particular deer.
No, I'm not charging him for the deer. I'm charging you to come hunt on my land.
It's nothing different from leasing some property.
I'm charging you whether you kill something or not, so I'm not charging you for the deer.
Well, if you lease some property from
Same
Weyerhaeuser, it's the same thing.
Okay.
They don't guarantee you a kill.
So my point to Brent in Meridian, Mississippi, when you start putting up fences and charging owners to hunt, well, guess what? That's already going on and been going on for how long?
Well, what he says here is that you can't hunt your own land. If it's his land, he's got a choice whether to put up a fence or not. So I don't know what his question is there. I missed the show last Monday too, so I'm getting in on this late. But
it was hot. And
I can imagine.
There's just a lot of misinformation. The bottom line is, if you're out there listening, you can already have a high fence, and you can charge somebody to hunt on your land.
All right, now I
think some of the issues are importing deer into the state and setting up breeding.
You can't bring the deer, but you can bring the semen in and artificially inseminate.
Well, I haven't read the legislation
on that.
Maybe I should have, but I've been too busy to get quite caught up with that until it gets out of committee. I didn't worry about it.
You know the way it was in the past.
You could bring semen, sure,
semen in,
but the importation of animals, especially hoofed animals like that, has been closed for a while. There's been a moratorium on that where you cannot do that.
Right. Now, that's what's up in the legislature.
Right.
What we're saying is it's not going to pass. Now, somebody even called in, Bert, and you said that's another whole issue. They said, you reckon they ever going to fix it so you can buy a venison steak in a restaurant? I doubt that's going to ever pass. Or perch, a white perch, a bass in a restaurant. And there's a reason for that, too, I'm sure.
Well, a farm-raised venison that come from a legal venison farm, I don't see where there'd be a problem. A farm-raised...
farm-raised deer?
I mean, not right now in Mississippi, but there's places that farm-raised venison is legal, and I don't... so I don't see where...
What?
Red stack?
Yeah, but I'm talking about a whitetail wild deer. You can't go get a wild deer in a whitetail.
Not now, no, sir.
Nor a perch, or white perch, nor a bass.
No, sir.
And the reason that I remember that was because that could get out of hand for the sports and all kind of stuff.
Well, if you had venison on the menu, it would be up to, I guess, our department to monitor that, and I don't know how you would test whether this was a wild animal or it came from a deer farm. So, but that hadn't been addressed at this time.
I don't think it do it in the United States.
I don't want to do anything to hurt the wildlife, but boy, would I love to see some venison on a menu when I went to a restaurant.
Hey, ain't that the truth?
1-800-251-5891. That's 1-800-251-5891 or pound 444 if you're C Spire Wireless to get up in here amongst us.